my old boss when I worked at Xerox PARC, whose name is Bob Taylor. And to talk to somebody who is the person who funded the ARPANET and ask him how did he do that, and the person who conceived the personal computer and who did he work with, gives you a reminder of both the extraordinary and the awesome things that have happened in our industry, and also, frankly, how old I am. Right, that's sort of my conclusion. So my history is I'm a computer scientist, a PhD from Berkeley, but I've been around here for almost 40 years. And working at Xerox PARC, I went to Sun. And one of my sort of rules as a sort of first young manager is that as a young manager, you absorb everything. So my manager at Xerox, Bob Taylor, had a particular management style, which I now realize 40 years later is kind of like mine, the way I approach things. And my first impressions of being a Sun manager and the way Sun worked, I think colored the next 30 years of development. And so one of the things to remember is that the next 5 or 10 years of your careers are in fact crucial because that's when you learn all this shit, right? And that all sort of where you are and the people the sort of the little subtle things that make leadership happen are learned during that period, which was a surprise to me. So at Sun, Sun was both very tumultuous, very political, and very complicated. There were many, many good things that I learned, and I also learned some real negatives. One of the things that I learned negatively is that companies can reorganize prematurely, companies can become religious, companies can not react to actual facts. The low point in my time at Sun was we had a meeting where we were looking at Sun computers versus PCs, and we concluded we could not get our manufacturing costs equal to that of PCs. Now, by the way, that's a signal that you should quit, because I failed to answer the question that I advocate now, which is what does the next 5 years look like? So one of the sort of things we talk about in my other class in the MBA school is ask the 5-year question, right? And I learned that sort of the hard way because for most of my life, the answers were given to me or they were highly narrow. So now I ask, what's going to happen in the next 5 years? What's going to happen next? And I learned that. So anyway, after 14 years of Sun, lots of politics and so forth, I did the Java maneuver, which we can talk about if you're interested in. I went to Novell under the mistaken idea that I wanted to be a CEO, and I failed to do any due diligence. So had I done the due diligence, I wouldn't have taken the job, and therefore I would not have gone to Google, so it was probably good I didn't do the due diligence. But at Novell, there was a week which we remember, my colleague and I who joined me with me said was the worst week ever, where our basic goal was to get out of this with our professional reputations intact and not in jail. Right, and that's after you join a company and you discover the books are cooked and the people are frauds and the customers aren't paying and so forth and so on. But in hindsight, what I learned, something which is that you can actually overcome that. And the skills that I developed in Novell, in fact, allowed us to do things at Google. And so what happened when I showed up at Google, to make a long story short there, was that the company was very, very interesting, very innovative. But because I'd had such a tough time at Novell, I understood the role of cash. And so we did everything we could to run the company for revenue, and the rest is history.